So hello good people, it is December 13th, 1:30 p.m. I've been up for a few hours. I got up at 10ish, like early 10, and then I was talking with my partner a little bit. He left out to go handle some business. Then I pumped, and about my pumping, so this isn't too relevant, but it's worth making note of, I guess. Um, so my pumping schedule shifted a little bit because one of the nurses and I were talking. I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but she was really just complimenting me on my milk storage and how much I'm able to get per session. Typically I can fill up both of the bottles that come with my pump, which are 5-ounce bottles, so off the back that's about 10 ounces. But then let's see, 11, 10, I go over. So instead of having the 5 ounces, I will normally just keep going, and then when I take the top off, it's like probably like another ounce of milk in there because it goes to the very top of the bottle. So we'll say about 12 ounces per session. Like I said, I think I mentioned this, but it starts running together. So I'll make 12 ounces every time I pumped, and I wasn't like I'm still not pumping nearly as much as I should be. One of the nurses told me, or a lactation consultant more so told me yesterday, that it is good for me to be pumping 8 times a day, which I know that's what you're supposed to be doing because it keeps your supply good and running, and it continues to let your body know to make more milk for baby. But I get so tired and exhausted and a little bit lazy, as bad as that sounds, when it comes to pumping. So I really only pump like 3-4 times a day. I don't pump throughout the night at all. Sometimes if I'm up late, I will pump at 12 or 1 in the morning. But most times I just pump throughout the day. Before I started really being here, I would wake up at like 7 o'clock and I would just make it a routine to just get right up and pump then. And then like hours would fall in between before I got another pump session in. But still, I was producing 12 ounces per session, and I don't know if that's because I waited so long from, one pump to the next or what. But that is just what worked for me, and I was making enough milk to keep my baby good, so I really wasn't worrying about it. And then, like the nurse told me, I had 200 something bottles back there, or 2 months worth of milk for her. I really kind of had a little ego boost. It was like, okay, well, I can take, it wasn't even an ego boost, it was just in my mind, I felt confident with the idea that she had enough milk. Bless you, baby. I felt confident in the idea that she had enough milk, so I decided I would give myself and my body and my boobs a break and not pump. And I think I went like a full day without pumping, and then a little bit into the second day before I got back in it, and then literally as soon as I got back in it, my milk was nowhere near the same as what it was before. It had dropped drastically. I went from making 12 ounces to, and that's like on each side. I will fill up a bottle on each side, so like I can get a full 6 ounces on one boob and then a full 6 ounces on the other boob. In the beginning, I was switching them around to fill up the bottles, but that was able to change once my supply like fully started kicking in. But once it started to drop, I realized that I was going back to, getting 2 maybe ounces from one side, and then the boob will wear out. The milk was like deplenishing, and so I switch it over to the other side and see what I can get from that. Then when that one got low, I just switch it back over again until I could fill up a bottle. So like I said, I went from making 12 ounces to struggling to fill up the 5-ounce bottle, literally. And that hurt my heart. I just remember being so distraught about it and like really talking to God, because I just felt so disappointed in myself, because it truly was my fault. I know that you're not supposed to not pump. And I remember telling my boyfriend, that my baby's father, I remember him saying that I could give my boobs a break because I was making so much milk, and I would literally sit there and tell him, why would I do that? Like, it makes no sense to give them a break when they're just gonna get, in my head, I thought that they would get engorged and full, which when I was really in the peak of my supply, it was exactly like that. Like, I used to be so full, it would hurt. I couldn't even lay down. Like, I could feel the pain. And then when it got time for me to pump, it was just like milk everywhere. That's what it had. My bottles filling up. It was like I would fill the bottles up and my chest would still be like ready to go another round. Like, I could probably hook up 2 more bottles and get another 10 ounces out. That's just how full they were. But me and my smart ass thought that I could just take a little break and not pump for that time, because I know she had a good amount of milk to sustain her. And I was assuming that when I jumped back into pumping, I would have a milk overflow. But instead, plus I was telling him about mastitis and stuff. I know that they say if you don't pump for a good little bit, that you can get clogged ducts and it could lead to mastitis and pain and all of that. And it turned out to be the exact opposite. Instead of having, a milk overflow, I had my milk diminishing. Like, it was going away, because I guess my body was like, okay, well, we're not pumping anything. Obviously, we don't need any milk to be coming in, so we're just gonna stop making it. And that was my mistake. So obviously, a lot of women are probably looking at me like, yeah, you're definitely at fault for that. That's exactly what's gonna happen. But if there's any other moms out there that's like me, that thinks that taking that break is gonna give you a good full supply, maybe, or anything, and then they get the opposite of that, then here is your forewarning to not skip those pumps. Even if you're doing like me and you're only pumping 3-4 times a day, even twice a day, keep that schedule up. Don't go a full day without pumping. I shouldn't have to tell anybody this, but because I'm pretty sure you guys know. Maybe it's just the rookie first time mom in me that is just like, I'm learning it as I go. This is my first child. I'm still learning everything as I go. So I just want to I wanted to acknowledge that a little bit. When I pumped earlier, we was good. My boobs did not feel as full. They normally, like, I can normally feel it on the outskirts of the boob. It's like a little lump that forms, and you can feel like the fullness of it. Right now they're soft because they're pretty much empty, but there's like a lump that forms on the outer part of it, and then they would be like a little puffy. And when I felt that earlier, I was just thanking God, because it's like, okay, this is familiar to me. This is what I would feel when I used to be really full of milk and just like ready to let it all out. And recently my right one has been pushing, and my left one not so much, but I always start with my left one. Back when I was, like I said, at the peak of my milk, I noticed that, and I should have never took that break, because it really hurts me, because I remember being so agitated, because I was like wetting through my bra, wetting through my shirt, like leaking at the slightest of anything. I wake up, I'm leaking. I go to sleep, I'm sore, I'm hurting. I could barely like position myself to get comfortable, and then I'm up and I'm leaking. Then I pump and I'm just going through everything, because I pump one side at a time. I used to be so agitated with it, but now looking back on it, it's like I would give anything to get back to that part of me where I just had a oversupply. And we're there I guess. It would take me like 3-4 minutes to fill up half a bottle, and by the 8-minute mark, like, I was done. I'm so upset with myself. Like, I'm so upset with myself. But the last time I pumped, which was like a little while ago, earlier before I started eating and everything, I was able to fill up the bottles again. I filled up one whole bottle with the right side. I got into that to say that when I was pumping on one side, the other side would start leaking. So I figured since my left side is struggling a little bit, I would start on my right side and then get my left side going, so that when I actually put the pump on it, it was good and ready to have a letdown. I know this is a lot to take in and probably seems pretty repetitive. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I started on my right side today, filled up an entire bottle, and then I moved to my left side, and I got about 3.5-4 ounces in before it started to slow down. And so I moved back over to my right, got it up some more, then switched back over to my left and filled it up the rest of the way, just kind of going like that. So I'm proud of what they're able to accomplish right now. That is a way bigger step up from what I was trying to get yesterday and the day before yesterday. So I was just kind of being gracious to it. Like, thank you, God. It's coming back, and I can't wait to feel like the pain again, because that just lets me know that my chest is doing exactly what it's supposed to do to continue to make food and nourish my daughter. So no problems over here. I am having a salad. The women from yesterday came back again, and they brought some pesto chicken, rice, and bread, and that was amazing. Like, that was really good. And I opened up the fork and knife packet and realized, well, like I said once again on my smart ass, that there was salt and pepper in there. So I could have had a little flavor to yesterday's meal, but it was good today. And the chicken had chicken was really good. It was really good. I can't even explain. It kind of tasted like it had lemon and Italian dressing on it, which is things that my mom would season chicken with and things that we are like really familiar with having when it comes to like juicing things up. And I never liked Italian dressing, but I feel like I'm really going on a rant about nothing. Anyway, I'm having a salad. Baby girl is doing fine. Like I said, she's 3 pounds, 1.7 ounces. Her heart is looking good. Everybody was coming through and talking to me about her. Oh, I had a group of people come in earlier. A doctor and like 4 or 5 nurses. They was coming to look at her, tell me things about her, and he said that she's looking really good. She's putting on the weight really quick. He was like, maybe it's something in your milk. We don't know. But he said hopefully she'll be getting discharged within the next few weeks. As you guys know, it takes 3 points that they have to hit when they're born early to be able to go home, and that is sustaining a temperature, keeping themselves warm without the help of the incubator and all that, or being able to regulate their body temperature in room air. And then we have taken full feeding, so she needs to be drinking all of her bottles full time. And the third one is, what is it? I want to say it's not having a drop in heart rate, but I don't think that's it. Sustaining temperature, drinking bottles. There's the third one, and I can't really think of it off the back, but she has to be doing those 3 before she can go home. I'm so upset that I can't think of the third one, and it probably is not having a drop in heart rate. Plus, you know, every baby has to go through the routine car seat test before they can leave, which is where they have to be in a car seat, I think, for 90 minutes without having a drop in their heart rate. So once she hits all of those milestones, my baby can go, and that makes me a little nervous. As happy as I was at the idea with, I'm still very happy at the idea. I'm very nervous about it because there's still a few things that I need to get situated for her. arrival. But it is what it is. I'm not complaining. It is what it is. She's doing good. That's all I could ever ask for. And yeah, that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and go. If I think of anything else, I'll come at you guys after I'm done eating, because I don't want the salad to just be sitting here getting soggy. But I will definitely update you guys if something else crosses my mind. Until then, I will see you in the next clip. So, bye. Hello, my friends. She is wide awake right now. She got her food. She drank. Yeah. She drank 18 cc's and now she's getting the rest through her tube. It's got 7 minutes and 30-ish seconds remaining. And it's going through here, connecting all the way down up into this machine for the last milk that she didn't finish. So we've just been talking. She's getting so big. She's got cheeks. Hi, my love. Her face is just getting so full. Like, oh my goodness, big squeaks that you can't even do. Yeah. Yeah, oh my goodness. She's just so perfect. She's getting so big. Yeah. She is 3 pounds, 3 ounces now. I could show you guys. Right there. Right there. 3 pounds, 3 ounces as of yesterday. So when they weigh her tonight, we'll see what she's looking like and what she's gained. Oh my goodness, no, it's okay. Let me flip the camera over. But everything is okay. It's 12:15. I'm already tired. It's been a little rough, to be honest. I've been battling some things on the inside since last night. And then it just kind of intensified. Then I think back to the preeclampsia and just feel, not good as well. Let me see. Can you see yourself? Can you see yourself? I think back to the preeclampsia and then I just feel a little bit worse. Because it's like the doctors tell me about the milestones she'll be reaching and how she's getting there slowly but surely. And all the things that's normal or average for a preemie. And how, it comes, and that she's still learning how to do a lot of things gradually because she's still supposed to be in the womb. And then it just really hits me, and I feel bad all over again because I'm still supposed to be at work. I'm still supposed to be growing her. I will be 33 weeks and 1 day today. She's officially 3 weeks old, and I had her Christmas Eve at 30 weeks 1 day. So today I will be 33 weeks and 1 day. So we're getting there, kinda-ish. To be honest, time seems to be flying by a lot quicker now that she is here than it ever did when she was in the womb. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I guess it can be both. But I do know for sure it would have been nice to keep her inside of me just a little bit longer so she wouldn't have to be fighting this battle. Even though you're doing such an excellent job. I'm so proud of you. Just wish Mama could have kept you in a little longer. Yeah, I do. You're so perfect. Yeah. Yeah. But alright, I'm gonna go. So, love you guys and see you in the next clip. 12:44 and she has been out. So I am in a car because I decided I would, and it's kind of been going on for a couple days now. I decided I would kind of get back into a home regimen, which is a little bit difficult for me because it's like for the last few days now I have been staying full-time up at the hospital with my daughter, so the idea of leaving is just kind of been bugging me. But I did get home a little bit yesterday, but I still came back up to spend the night, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to spend the night tonight. So but I'm trying to bear through it, and I'm well aware that she's in the best hands possible, that they're taking great care of her, so I don't need to worry about anything. It's just the thought of it. Plus, I know I'm going to be getting back into work soon. I've been holding off for as long as possible, but she is going to come home eventually, and I definitely do not want to be at work when she is at home, so I probably should have been a little bit more persistent in getting back into work instead of taking my time. But that's just another thing. It is now the 15th of January, 12:32 p.m. I should have said that in the beginning. I'm sorry. And my heart just really hurts right now. My partner went up to get something from the room and to get my lactation cookies because I left them up there. But my heart is hurting because we pulled in. We saw a couple at the back, and you could see the van closing the door, and then the woman was limping a little bit. So it's like I knew off the bat she had just given birth, and as she gravitated over to the opposite side of the back, I just knew that baby must have been on the side that they had just closed the door of. So as we was passing by, nosy old me, I did a little peek, and I could see the car seat through the window, and I just felt like a throb in my heart. And then we drove up a little bit, and it was a man coming across, a dad, I'm assuming, with the car seat in his hand. And then literally like a second or two after that, there was a mom and a couple nurses walking across to the back, holding her newborn, I guess getting ready to put him in the car seat. And it's like it all happened so quick, and it just sucks because it's like everybody is getting the joy of taking their babies home, and I don't get that. Like, my baby is up in the NICU where she's gonna stay for probably another month or close to it. And it's like, I just feel like it's not fair to me. And maybe that's selfish. At the same time, it just makes me think about, the preeclampsia and the appointment I went into and being admitted on the 20th of December, and then 4 days later having a baby after being pricked a million times for blood work and getting my blood pressure checked and getting medicine to lower my blood pressure, and then all of these things I was doing to keep her inside of me and getting the steroid shot for her lungs in case she came early, which I was thinking would still be around Valentine's Day. Never around Christmas. Never around Christmas. And then it's like, I remember one of the nurses coming in, and I was so hungry because I hadn't ate, and me and my mom were just talking about what I was going to be able to eat, like actual food once I left the hospital. Just, then because the nurse came in, she literally gave me discharge papers. Literally gave me discharge papers and said, "You are free to go. Like, you can go. Everything has been okay. We got most of your labs back. You can go." And then literally a few minutes later, another nurse is coming in saying, "Well, can you just stay a little bit because we're still waiting on one more result." And then minutes after that, it's like everything just went downhill when they said, "I'm sorry, Miss Craig. I thought that you could go, but it turns out we're gonna need to keep you." And so it's like from that point, like I just knew that things were gonna change, but I wasn't aware how quickly things would change. And I'm just being brutally honest. I'm being really transparent on the matter. It's like when I'm not in the hospital, every time I see a family taking their baby home, I get so jealous and spiteful because I keep thinking about how that could have been me in March, or how I wouldn't have to see it if I don't want to say if my body didn't fail me, because there are probably other women with preeclampsia watching the channel, and I don't want anybody else to ever think that having preeclampsia is a result of your body failing you. But that's just where my thought process was stuck at for a very long time. Just general guilt. I remember a couple days ago, and I've asked this question so many times and never got a change of answer, but I asked the nurse again, was there anything that I could have done different? Like, was it something I did that led to her coming early? Like, what did I do wrong? And her just saying the same thing everybody else is saying. You didn't do anything wrong. You did everything right. It just happens, and you could have the most perfect pregnancy. You could make it to 30, 38, 39 weeks and still get preeclampsia. And that they were glad that they caught it. I know me and my mom talk about this all the time too. It's like, what are the odds that it would happen so accordingly? It's like the day of my appointment is when we found it out. And there were a lot of nights I would just be cramping and I couldn't sleep, and the pain was just so bad. I would have to sleep sitting up, and I just thought that I was uncomfortable where I was sleeping. And now that I think back on it, it's like, what if that was my body telling me all along that I want to say I should have got, I don't know, because it's like when I had appointments, even with the cramps, I would tell them about it, and they would say that it was like round ligament pain, and it was nothing serious, and everything was looking good. All my vitals were good. And then, like, despite everything, like a couple days after I got admitted into the hospital, was it a couple days? Yeah, because they started it on the 23rd, the induction on the 22nd, but it's like the morning of the 22nd, I think, like super early. That is when I started feeling that pain again, except it was a lot worse. Like, I could at least try to lay down and sleep with the pain I was having at the house, but when I was in the hospital, the pain was more intense. Like, I was pacing, like I was walking around for a long time, just like wondering what was going on, what was I feeling. And then I started feeling something different, and I remember explaining to the nurse, this one doesn't feel the same as what I had before. It's like a tightening. Like, I felt like something inside of me was tightening for a little bit and then letting go. And it's like, And so she was just so calm about it. She was like, "You might be having a contraction, but I don't know." That kept up for a minute until they finally got me in a room and got me hooked up again, and I was still feeling it. And that's when I was like told everything had just changed. And that's when I was told the whole time what I was feeling was contractions. And I think I did say this in another video, but it's like I didn't know what contractions felt like. The person next to me had got the car. Sorry, everybody's looking at me like, but I didn't know what contractions felt like because I have never had a child before. But I just knew what I was feeling in the hospital was not the same as what I was feeling when I was at the house. Whole little rant session. Just been talking for 10 minutes straight. But the last couple days, I do have little clips recorded. And I never posted them. So I think I'm just going to put it all together again in a video. And just show you guys those clips because I never ended anything. And I don't think I'm going to tune in anymore today. Like, because I'm going back to the house and it's a lot going on. So I definitely know that if I do tune in, it'll be to record a full day. I don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be, including the previous footage up until now. But it's crazy how all of that, how like my whole conversation just switched up because I was initially telling you guys just about the hurt in my heart, seeing families leave with their kids. And then it just reminded me of my pregnancy all over again. And it's just so weird. I think is it Saturday or Sunday? It's Saturday, so yeah, baby girl turned, of course it is because it's the 15th. She turned 3 weeks yesterday, and it's like it's hard to believe that 3 weeks have already passed by. I don't know if it's gonna slow down. I think it is. I think when I get back into work, it's gonna slow down. And I'm gonna be feeling like I'm just going through the days, just droning through them gradually like I did in the very beginning. I just wish I had my daughter. And there have been a couple other things bugging me and on my mind, but it's like my thoughts are so full nowadays. Like I don't get a break from my head. Then I start thinking, like, am I falling? This is so depressing. This is so depressing. I don't even want to talk about it. Because it's like, who wants to sit here and listen to all of this? Nobody. Nobody wants to just... Nobody would be really into this. But I've already went through everything else. So it's like, I wonder if I'm falling. Oops. They tried to get through. It was like, I wonder if I'm falling into a postpartum depression. And I want to say that can't be the case because I'm not depressed always. It's just episodes that come and go. I'm going to go ahead and go because there is nothing good that's going to come out of anything I'm saying. Baby girl is now 3 pounds, 5.4 ounces. So just like I said, there's nothing good that can come out of it. I just found something that was good, and that is that my daughter is gaining weight. Day before yesterday, she was 3 pounds, 3 ounces even, and then they weighed her last night. She's 3 pounds, 5.4 ounces, and they're going to weigh her again because they weigh her every night. So I probably won't be here for that weigh-in. I wasn't there when they weighed her last night either. I had called up there at like 8-ish, and they said they had, that they had already weighed her and everything. And so I ended up going back that night at like 10-ish is when I showed back up. It's like it's more than just mom life, because that part of me has started, but at the same time I feel like it hasn't technically started and won't start until she's back at the house or back at whatever environment we're in at the time, and I'm taking care of her full time. And there's my partner coming back now, so I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for watching. Love you and be safe.